Main event was, I thought it was gonna be a close fight.
I think everybody did.
He kicked his ass.
That's the easiest you gonna say.
Yeah.
No, that was disrespectfully is what he did.
No, never mind.
I mean it respectfully.
Yes,
he did not do it respectfully.
Right.
But it was. I thought it was gonna be a close fight. I think all three of us. I'm not sure if you.
I did pick Martin, but I thought it was gonna be a more competitive.
We all
fight.
leaned Martin.
I thought Martin was maybe gonna have to play catch up.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fight a year we expected, but
no,
I can't blame Frank's side for that.
One-sided.
Yeah.
Because Michel didn't show up.
Yeah. It was.
No, he showed up. It was just Martin was that much better.
Well, okay, is it? I'm gonna break. I kind of did this. Like I felt like he comes in first 10 seconds, he fight at an 8 pace. Then he goes, put in cruise controls, 6 or 7 the rest of the fight. Yeah. And at the same time, you got Frank fighting at an 8 or 9, sometime going to 10.
Yeah.
My man just stays here the whole time when he's going up and down.
Yeah, it looked to me like Michel never got started.
Wow.
And it also looked to me like he didn't know how to fight against a southpaw.
Well, the jab is how he gets started, right?
The jab is how he gets started.
Southpaw kept parrying it down and couldn't get started.
But beyond that, why are you just one jab? Why aren't you double jab? Why aren't you 1-2 and then step over for yourself? He had no moves that counter a southpaw's moves. And what I mean by that, you were talking about him being in the center of the ring and getting around Michel. It's because Michel doesn't know how to step off. If you don't step off, the guy gets around you every time, So, just the simple, basic things in terms of how to maneuver.
What I mentioned yesterday, Rivera's base was really wide. Like his feet felt really wide. And so Frank, he mentioned when we had him on a while ago that he played other sports. So he's just like.
When he caught him with the left hook.
He's a really good athlete.
Round.
So he just has naturally really good footwork. Obviously, he's putting work in with Derek James, but he just has these natural, flowing movements.
He's an athlete.
Yeah. Did he play football, I think he said when we had him
His
on?
cousin was linebacker for the Cowboys, Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
First cousin.
And so he ends up, it was just like Rivera just couldn't figure it out and going to the Derek James aspect.
And that's like the worst mistake you can make against a southpaw is reaching with your right hand. You miss, and you're right in line for the counter. Most southpaws are counters by nature. And they come right back right
Michel's
there.
a southball too, right?
No, he's orthodox.
Orthodox, yeah.
But I kept hearing
shit about boxing.
I don't. Hey, shout out to Roger Mayweather.
Yeah.
But I kept hearing Coach James kept telling Frank, don't reach. Don't reach.
Yeah.
Stop.
For the opening bell.
Yeah.
He was a little excited in the moment, and I think maybe 2 or 3 times he reached. And coming back to the corner, he's like, I got you. I got you. I already knew what he meant by I got you, and he made his adjustment.
Derek.
But just going back to Michel, I just don't think he was ready for a southpaw, especially not one as explosive, as skilled offensively and defensively minded. I
didn't have. Looking back, did anyone have Rivera winning a round?
First round was a feel-out round.
I think the
one
third,
other round in there was a little close.
I think the third.
I'm fine with 12-zip.
Yeah, I thought it was 12-zip with the knockdown.
12-zip.
Yeah. And one thing I want to give Rivera credit for,
no doubt,
is that at a certain point, especially in those last few rounds, he knew every time he committed to that right hand, he was going to get countered by a left hand. Yeah. And he kept throwing it anyways. And he kept stepping into it when he threw it. He never stopped throwing half-hearted shots to get the guard. He knew every time down the stretch he let that right hand go, he was going to get picked off. And to his credit, he kept trying to win.
And that's why I said he never got started, because earlier in the fight, if you do that and you know what the return is going to be, you're fresh enough to make the move and come right back. Early on, he was not stepping forward with the 1-2. He wasn't stepping forward throwing the straight right. He never got started. At the end of the fight, it was I got to do what I have to do, and then is when he started to kind of work.
As lopsided as the fight was, he easily could have kind of punked out down the stretch, and he didn't.
That's what I mean. He kept committing to the shot, knowing I'm probably going to miss, probably going to eat one.
That's one where you're getting shut out, you got dropped, where you can kind of at the end just be like, okay, I'm just gonna
survive.
Yeah, just kind of board it up and head home. But no, he was still in there. But Frank Martin, my goodness, is he good?
Yes.
He's doing this right now. He's taking off. And Michel just met him at a bad time.
Yeah.
And Michel corner got out coached. He ran into the Phil Jackson of boxing when it comes to X and O.
And Derek,
my man can do it.
Derek James, I tweeted that it was just cool, like you mentioned, seeing him up close. But so he, again, none of us really had Rivera maybe winning a round, maybe 2 if we're being generous. And Derek James wasn't good with that. He wanted him to up the tempo.
Yeah.
Like even later in the fight, 12th round, he's like,
when I looked at it, when
up.
I said that's how it goes, you're like, oh, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. At the end of the fight, you turn it up and you get the job done.
Yeah.
but Derek James, man, he is. If I had any doubt, which I didn't at all, who the best trainer in boxing was, it was very much validated yesterday.
I think what he wanted for the last 3 years from me and Carson.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank, he beat Rivera in every which way.
Yeah.
He beat him with better footwork, subtle footwork too. Not jumping around, just subtle, just stepping over, stepping off the double jab every time.
Yeah.
I asked him after the fight, was that like the Errol Spence, Derek James special, that touch, boom, straight left to the body? Because we see Errol do that. He said, no, that's just what it called for to break the guy down.
While we were watching the fight, I kept thinking to myself, am I seeing a version of Errol Spence Jr.? And I kept saying, no, I'm not seeing this.
A little bit, not as much as Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah. I'm not seeing a version of Errol so much as I think that's just him,
Yeah.
Right.
Frank is he is a lot like Errol, but he's just explosive, got a lot of different moves.
They're both good athletes, I think, outside
get
of
around
boxing
and
which
everything.
helps.
I mean, it's just, he did everything. He led, he countered, he punched in between punches, defense.
Landed the bigger shots.
Yeah.
Landed more shots.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Came out to
yesterday.
Boosie.
Came out to
Louisiana
Boosie,
on, so I was hyped.
Yeah, I know.
We was all grooving over
I
there.
wasn't expecting that.
He's a tough fight for anybody at lightweight. Haney, Stevenson, Tank.
What we
tough
doing?
fight for any of
Yeah,
them.
What we doing? This is my favorite part.
Yeah, what do we like next? Cruz.
Cruz. He beats Cruz because
Yeah.
he can walk him into shots. I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't mean disrespect. Cruz is a tough fight for
that's
anybody.
a tough fight.
Yeah.
But
He beat
Frank
Cruz.
is a more
I don't even
versatile.
want to talk about it no more. I'm
What-
50-50 on
What about
in life. So
some of these other fights?
He's more versatile fighter.
Who you got?
sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
okay. Martin and Cruz.
No. Who you
Oh,
want?
Martin for the record. But so we bounced out early. I think somebody mentioned he called out Rolly.
Yeah,
in the
Rolly.
post fight. I'm okay with that.
Rolly wants to fight his promoter instead.
Yeah,
Harold
fair enough. We saw Rolly yesterday.
look at me, man. I'm not no match. I'm not no matchmaker.
Rolly or Spence, who you got?
Yeah, well, and this was one. I mean, we actually asked the question on the show, like him and Keyshawn, if that's a fight that makes sense. Obviously, there's politics.
We're 3 to 5 years away from that.
Yeah,
fight.
but
So let y'all know
These
now.
companies don't come together when
they're
there's a
not-
million belts on the
Yeah.
line.
And
They're
he
not going
thought-
to do it when there's nothing on the line.
when we had
Man.
Frank on last week, he thought he was going to be angling to fight Raul Valenzuela,
Yeah.
who ended up getting knocked off.
De Los Santos.
Yeah, I don't mind the De Los Santos fight.
No. That's a
Good
But
fight.
I got three fight for him.
go ahead.
Rolly, mention Rolly.
Yeah.
Cruz. I feel like he's just every time he charging Pitbull,
That's a really good fight.
he's gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
Entertaining, I mean.
that's action.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
yeah. And then Chris Colbert.
Oh, yeah.
take
Let's
that.
go back to that Chris Colbert.
He kicked Chris Colbert.
Damn, dude, you got to go back to New York one day.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Yeah, I didn't love that matchup when they mentioned it originally. I just
You want Colbert to have some momentum heading into that fight.
I
right
feel like
now,
Chris
he
Colbert,
has
like
nothing.
you're coming off that upset loss. No, I don't want you to go in there with that guy now. So yeah, I don't hate that fight down the road. Maybe build him back up, get him feeling good at 135, and then kind of get back to it.
I would just kind of do stuff that's possible.
Yeah, and all three of those are possible for sure.
Oh, and Tank. I've seen them spar together. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
I heard some inside information about that, but I heard it.
You don't know nobody.
Yeah. You was there, right?
I was.
I heard it was great.
It was.
That's all.
Said that already.
It's like, hey, repeat what you just said a second ago.
Is that your source?
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. Frank, Tank wasn't like dominating him. I would say. I don't want to say too much.
Did you say anything?
You ain't got nobody on the inside.
So moving past that.
I'll say off the record.
Yeah.
Hey, for $3.99 a month, I will give you inside.
Sign up to the
remember how-
Patreon,
Hey,
patreon.com/TPWP.
back in the day, wrestling $3.99 a month. It'll get inside info what's going on.
Yeah,
I'll just say,
For real?
to take our man Barry Hunter's phrase, shout out to you, Barry. Love you, man. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That
It
bangs.
was TV ready.
There you
Oh.
go. There you go.
was
There you go.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.